We did get a new, and I say new here, big air quotes around new, is a new coffee machine. The Kurig Supreme, like the Taco Supreme, only it's coffee. And it's very nice. It has a button on there that I question the veracity of. And the button is labeled strong. Shouldn't that be the default? Right? Shouldn't the coffee? Why no? Why would you want weak? Why would you want a button to turn the like? No. I'm not going to hit the strong button today. I want the weak baby nice coffee.
Some people like weak baby nice coffee.
Well, then
I like
them
heavily
the weak
sweetened
baby nice button. Give them the weak.
I like heavily sweetened coffee. Like I'm a vanilla oat milk latte.
Frutti.
I have a Keurig. I have never used it. It was Dan's, and I kind of keep it so that if I have guests, they can have coffee. But if I'm drinking coffee, it's because I go out and buy it. Because I also don't like just coffee. I'm a vanilla oat milk latte.
What's that coming to go?
So I don't even know how to use my Keurig.
Crazy Bruce says sometimes you want a mild tasting coffee. Well, that should not be the default. If you want a weak coffee, you need the weak. I want a weak baby nice coffee. I don't know why I even bought a coffee machine.
Well, but why do you assume that just because the default isn't strong, that the default is weak? The default is probably about a medium. And if you want that little extra, my question is, and I think the better question is, with a Keurig, it's already measured. How are you making it any stronger or weaker? Just more or less water?
I don't know.
Because usually the way you make coffee weaker or stronger is changing the ratio and or using a stronger brew, like a stronger roast. But it's a K-cup. How does that work?
I don't know. All I know is that button is suspect to me. It's why?
Tara is a dessert coffee gal because I don't really love the taste of clean coffee. So.
I don't either. I like put a big old spoon of Splenda in there and half and half. Look, I'm not in this exactly for the taste. These are drugs. Coffee is drugs. I am here for the drugs. I am here for the drugs. There's your quote right there. You put that, just take that out of context. Have fun with that.
I have found some really good like antioxidant beverages that are caffeinated that I like, that I usually my go-to. Coffee is more of like a treat.
Coffee is like, I'd like to be awake now, please. Because anyway.
And there's a little coffee shop a couple doors down from the salon I work at, and they're really nice in there. It's a beautiful little shop. They're a little interesting with the flavors. See, I'm a basic. I do not have a sophisticated palate. So I go in one day and I'm like, yeah, I'll take like a vanilla cold brew, whatever. And they're like, oh, our current special is ube. You're going to love it.
Is ube?
Ube is like a purple sweet potato. So it had like purple foam on it and it tasted like potato coffee. And I love potatoes, but I don't want potato coffee. And people are going to be mad at me for saying that. And I'm sorry. I know it's a popular flavor. It's not for me. I just want my vanilla.
Are we, wait. Are we here at the end of history where all we have left is putting potatoes in the coffee? Is that it? Are we done? Have we done everything else?
I mean, 2 years ago, we were putting butter in the coffee, and that was a diet. That was for weight loss somehow. So, we'll just try things.
Well, speaking of starting your day off, we have a very interesting one here. Each week, Catherine, the Radio Day audience, go on the worldwide interwebs, find all sorts of horrible stuff, bring it back here for a little segment we like to call What the Fuck is Wrong with You? This first one comes from Norway. This is this week's Everyone Sent Me This. Because the best part of waking up is not a fucking container ship pulled up in the garden. Man in Norway wakes to find huge container ship in garden. A man in Norway woke up to find a container ship had run aground and crashed into his front garden. The 135-meter ship, 443 feet, missed Johan Hellberg's house by meters at about 5 a.m. local time. Mr. Hellberg was, this is the kind of way this is the best part, because this is how I sleep. Mr. Hellberg was only alerted to the commotion by his panicked neighbor who had watched the ship as it headed straight for the shore. I love this quote from the guy. The doorbell rang at a time of day when I don't like to open, Mr. Hellberg told television channel TV2. I went to the window, was quite astonished to see a big ship. I had to bend my neck to see the top of it. It was so surreal. 5 meters further south than it would have entered the bedroom, I didn't hear anything. That's how I sleep too. Like, if a fucking tanker truck landed in our front yard, I'd be the last one to know about it if I was sleeping. I would just be like, what?
No, you wouldn't, because you have cats. And they would know, and therefore you would know. Because I got 4 cats, and if this happened, I would know half an hour ahead of time because they'd be stomping all over me. But, like, I don't understand people who want oceanside property, and maybe it's because I grew up on Long Island. I've never understood the appeal because the weather sucks. It's always windy. It's always humid, and your house could blow away in a fucking hurricane. This is not the peril you expect, though.
Jesus.
You expect a tidal wave, a hurricane, land shifting, not a fucking ship in your yard. Look how close. Look at the faraway picture.
Yeah, well, just look at that. Just look at, like, he's like, it's inches from, well, it's like maybe a foot or two from his house. Neighbor Jostein Jorgensen said he was woken by the sound of the ship as it headed full speed toward land. Ran to Mr. Hellberg's house. I was sure that he was already outside, but no, there was no sign of life. I ran the doorbell many times and nothing. Johan!
Amazon doesn't fuck around these days, huh?
I mean, well, you pay for
when
the next day.
When they say same-day delivery, they mean that shit.
Do you remember when it was like early into the pandemic when the Evergreen got lodged in the fucking Panama Canal? Was the Panama Canal or the Suez? It was one of the
it was the Panama. Whatever it was,
one of
it
those damn
fucks
canals.
The shit up royally. Yeah.
And we all at that point, the nihilism had taken us of 2020, and we all reveled in it. Just, it was like the glory. It was like Elmo with the fire behind him. That was the gift. That was us.
Because none of us could leave the house, we were all compulsively shopping online.
Right.
And all of the shit in that canal that couldn't move was the stuff we were buying.
Yeah. The Ever Given, yeah. According to reports, the ship had previously run aground in 2023, but gotten free under its own power. That sounds like a red flag to me. If the
Who's
ship,
the captain of that ship?
If the ship keeps running aground, maybe someone, you could call somebody. Maybe.
Yeah.
About
you
that.
might have some problems with the power steering, the brakes. Look how close it is to that house.
I know.
Would
right?
would you ever get a decent night's sleep again?
I mean, I would be like, technically it's on my property. So I'm going to invoke finders keepers.
Fuck no, I don't want to have to gas that thing up.
No. I'm going to pop out a crowbar and go climb up and see what's in the cargo. I'll start my own goddamn Amazon.
I've watched Jurassic Park too many times for that.
You want to buy 3 million toothbrushes? I got you covered. Next up, this is from...
I would never sleep again. It's so close.
Next up, this is... there are some things that happen in the universe that would not be noticed were it not for human consciousness and our ability to connect patterns together. And this is one of those things that in any other instance would just pass on by as a cosmic, it's just atoms moving, decay, the regular process of the universe. But because humans are involved, this becomes one of those I can't fucking believe this moments. Movie theater ceiling collapses during Final Destination Bloodlines screening.
Oh, no, 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 no.
Yes.
Do you know, I've never seen one of these movies, but I know a weird amount about them because they're just a meme now.
Well, yeah.
I'm not driving behind a logging truck. I've never even seen that fucking movie.
Yeah. Theater goers were in for an unfortunate surprise during a recent screening of supernatural horror film Final Destination Bloodlines. Fiamma Villaverde, 29, went to see the movie at the Cinema Ocho in La Plata, Argentina, with her 11-year-old daughter and a friend.
Daughter?
Yeah.
Is that movie appropriate for an 11-year-old?
It is not. It is in the first few minutes.
Nightmares.
In the first few minutes, they have a record. They actually set a record with this film. The oldest person ever set on fire as part of a movie production. They got a 71-year-old stunt lady to set herself on fire for that.
Like, these movies are like super gory too, right? Like generally it's like a series. Yes. It's like a Rube Goldberg situation.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. 11 years old?
However, when she sat down for the sixth flick in the popular Final Destination franchise, which follows a group of people who die in a series of gruesome deaths after narrowly surviving a catastrophic event, a portion of the ceiling in the theater fell on top of her. Villaverde told the outlet that toward the end of the movie, she heard a really loud noise. At first, we thought it was part of the movie because we were so involved, but then a huge piece fell on me. Fortunately, the collapsed ceiling didn't hit my head because I was leaning slightly over the armrest. Villaverde asked for a refund for her ticket while waiting for an ambulance. She also said the theater manager asked her, "How do you want to fix this?" She said she was going to file a complaint. You
had to ask for a refund?
Yeah, right? That they should be out there like, here's a refund. Here's like 11 free tickets. Come on back.
Here's some fucking popcorn to bring in the ambulance because, the ER might be busy. It might be a while. So here's some fucking nachos. You had to ask?
Fortunately,
caved in.
All that happened was she got a bruised knee. Nothing broken, but it's,
for now, we'll see how she's doing in 3 weeks. Because
just the fuck
again, like, would you ever sleep again?
I'd be like, you know what? No, I'd never. I mean, it's like that would change my entire perception of movie going for like the rest of my life. That would break me.
Yeah.
It's like
someone in the comments, someone in the chat, I missed who it was, said that they had like 8-year-olds going to see one of the Terrifier movies. Holy shit.
Like, man, I was a messed up little kid. I was watching some shit when I was a 10-year. Like, I was in middle school reading Stephen King shit, right? But
I don't understand why adults are seeing those movies. I've read the synopses, and who the fuck is that for? If you're a big fan of those movies, I don't want to know you.
And thank you, Tara. You just set up I'm going to get comments this week. So, that's engagement. Thank you.
I don't fucking care. If you're a big fan of those movies, I don't want to know you. Something is wrong with you.
That is just like, you could not make this up. It's about a series of events of death actually chasing you and trying to kill you. You're in the movie, and death came this close to fucking you up. Here's the thing.
Like if you went to see Sinners and a fucking vampire showed up for the screening, that's not supposed to happen.
the premise of Final Destination is if something like this happens and you don't die, then you're in trouble because death's mad now and it's coming for you.
Right. And
so
now
shit's
it's
gonna
fucking
get
personal.
Weirder. Yeah, shit's like that's like, oh, how dare you? Don't you know who I am? Like, come on. I was in Bill and Ted. Come on.
I mean, if it's, you know, the best thing death could do to really get people to jump is just be like, no, yeah, I am Aubrey Plaza. You know how many people would be like, oh, well, okay, then let's go.
Yes. Next up, we're going to Chicago for this one. This is one of those little events where nothing actually happened, but that it could have happened, that this was like this far away from being a tremendous bad. DoorDash driver mistakenly enters unauthorized grounds at Chicago OHare before being spotted by air traffic controllers. On Saturday, May 17th, a DoorDash driver mistakenly entered a restricted area at Chicago OHare International Airport, sparking a temporary security concern. The driver was moving through the airport's secured perimeter, raising alarms when spotted by air traffic control. No operational disruptions were reported. Authorities later determined the intrusion was unintentional. No charges were filed. The case has reignited concern about security and access at one of the busiest airports in the United States. 36-year-old male driver was making... Why do they have to point out he's a male driver? Was making a delivery when he inadvertently accessed the airside area. The driver's unexpected detour went unnoticed until air traffic controllers spotted the vehicle moving through secured parts of the airport. According to a source cited by CBS News Chicago, the driver may have crossed multiple internal roads and potentially even taxiways before the alert was raised.
Did somebody order DoorDash to the airport? Can you do that?
Well, I know what I kind of understand what, like, they probably ordered DoorDash and he's trying to figure out where to go and he makes the wrong turn on the wrong road. And
it seems especially sadistic to order DoorDash when you work at the airport. That's just, you better have tipped 100% because that is messed up.
But the authorities intercept the vehicle, questioned the driver, claimed to have entered the area by mistake. But the fact that he's like rolling across the taxiways and like, have you ever seen Baby's Day Out?
I've never even heard of Baby's Day Out.
You've never heard of Baby's Day Out? It's this really stupid movie from like 30 years ago. And it's about a baby who gets loose from, and it's like goes through all of these incredibly dangerous situations, like up on a high rise. And just because he's a baby, he absolutely survives. But for some reason, there's like criminals I think they're trying to kidnap the baby and they're trying to catch him. And they're getting all the whole Home Alone slapstick shits happening to them. This guy driving like through the airport, past the taxiways, nothing's happening to him. It's kind of like Baby's Day Out for me, you know?
Can you imagine how freaked out he must have been?
Well, I mean, maybe, or like maybe not until the end when they told him, dude, do you know you were on the fucking runway there? I was what? Oh shit.
I really want to understand the mentality of ordering fucking DoorDash to the airport. Like, I'm sorry, if you work there and you're sick of all the food court options, I get it, but like, you better tip like a motherfucker.
But
to make somebody do that.
Who did not stop this guy? Why did they not stop? Isn't there like a place where it's like, hey...
I don't think they have like TSA sitting on the runways looking for stray cars.
Well, there should be like a gate that says you can't drive through here, bro.
And we got like 5 flight traffic controllers for the entire country, so it's not like they can spare the staffing.
Well, let's move over from
I gotta fly next month, and I'm not happy about it.
Where are you flying to?
But at least I know New York.
Oh, okay. So you're not heading back to Ireland or whatnot.
No, I would love to. But this is, I'm going to my 30th high school reunion.
Why?
Because my friend is the head of the committee and I promised her that I would show up. I have blown off every single reunion they have had. And a friend that I keep in touch with from high school was like, I'm the head of the committee this year. You better show up. And I was like, fine. Yeah. It's at a Dave & Buster's. It's going to be so fun.
That just hurt.
I'm so old.
Just saying that out loud just hurts.
I'm so old. Yeah.
Like Dave & Buster's is like a 23-year-old's idea of a fun night out.
We have like the private party room at the Dave & Buster's. So like we're not like in an arcade.
Well, so you're not doing Ryanair. I mean, I guess that's the one silver lining.
God. Even if I fly to Ireland, I am all Aer Lingus all the time because that's a long ass flight.
Well, here's another reason to be glad you aren't. Chaos in the sky as British woman removed from Ryanair flight after bomb threat. Flight from Tenerife to Scotland was diverted to Portugal as a passenger reportedly assaulted others and threatened them with violence. Ryanair flight from Tenerife to Glasgow Prestwick was forced to make an emergency landing in Portugal after a British woman allegedly became violent on board and made a false bomb threat. Incident happened on Saturday, May 17th, caused a major disruption for passengers who described feeling frightened and helpless as the situation unfolded midair. Fellow travelers told how the woman was removed from the aircraft and later restrained on the tarmac. Blair Morgan, a passenger in the fight, said the woman had been aggressive from the start. She was assaulting passengers whilst being drunk and vaping up and down the aisle. She was also standing up on seats, taking people's headphones off, and threatening to hurt and bottle them. And by bottle, he means hit them with a fucking bottle. That's...
Oh.
He added the woman told passengers she was from Prestwick and only been acting disruptively at the boarding gate. She made a bomb threat toward everyone on the plane, along with saying she would bottle people with a glass wine bottle. Everyone was distressed and scared. It was really scary. It's not something you really expect. I don't think I would be scared so much as, are you fucking shitting me? And why do I have to deal with this?
My question is, it's Ryanair, so I assume they charged her for every single security personnel that had to respond.
I mean, yeah.
But like, but you're right. Like, it's bad enough you're flying Ryanair, who I think charges you to use the bathroom. Ryanair, whose slogan is "fuck you."
Yeah.
Like, that's bad enough. But then to have this chick like standing on the chairs, ripping off the headphones and yelling at, like, nobody needs this shit.
It gets better. Once the plane landed in Faro, police boarded the aircraft, removed the woman. She reportedly continued to lash out, spitting and hitting the officers before being restrained on the shuttle bus. Her boyfriend, who was traveling with her, was also taken off the flight.
What was he doing this whole time?
Probably wishing he was not there.
Just like pretending he didn't know her?
It's like, oh, God damn it. Oh, no, no. Oh, no. Why is it always the bomb threat, Tara?
I don't know how people have not learned that is a one-way ticket to a cavity search in this day and age. That's not going to get you anything you want.
It never helps. It never helps.
No.
Because
I don't know how people have not learned this. You do not fuck with air people.
Like, being drunk and rowdy is one thing, but when you come out with bomb threat, that's like the gloves officially come. Actually, the gloves go on. They're just a different.
Yeah. They're done with your ass.
Yeah. Well, no,
honestly,
they're not done.
They're probably,
Tara, they're not done with your ass. That's the problem.
Like, if they can be pretty sure you don't mean it, they're probably psyched because they're like, thank you so much. You just flipped the you have no rights switch.
Damn.
We can do whatever the fuck we want now. So thank you so much for saying the magic word.
Yeah, Steve Powerdace in the channel says, what is a bomb threat supposed to accomplish other than a bad time for you?
That's what I don't understand. Where do you think it's going to get you?
It's not even like in pop culture. I can't remember a single instance where someone calls in a bomb threat in a story and it works out well. You know?
Billy Madison. Doesn't Steve Buscemi do that?
Is it a bomb threat or is he threatening to kill people?
Tomato, potato.
Because he had the gun, right? He had the
yeah.
You know what? I'm kind of glad I don't remember. It means I've purged it from my. It means I don't have the Adam Sandler is leaving my system.
They just keep letting him make movies, though. I mean, by all accounts, he's a heck of a nice guy, but he's been making the same movie for 20 years, and I don't understand it.
Next up is Florida, because of course it's Florida. And
where would we be without Florida?
This is kind of like how an ecosystem adapts. You know, you add something like, you notice how plastic ends up like coral reefs start to incorporate plastic into themselves and stuff, you know. The environment adapts. This is how the environment adapts to Florida, man.
I don't want the environment to adapt to Florida, man.
Florida Tikiboat crew rescues bleeding man in water, then sings karaoke. Punta Gorda, Florida. A Florida Tikiboat crew turned into unexpected heroes during a karaoke cruise Saturday. Video shows the dramatic rescue after a bleeding man ended up in the water in front of TT's Tiki Bar. Cole Kelly, who operates Tiki Boats and as charter manager for Punta Gorda Adventures, was running one of his normal cruises when he spotted the man struggling to stay afloat. As we got closer, we saw the commotion on shore. Then it was apparent he was bleeding really badly. Once I pulled him up, I could see the severity of the injuries. He was bleeding from head to toe. He had a terrible wound on his hand. Police say the man had jumped a railing into the water and smashed into the rocks on the shoreline on the way down. He wasn't very talkative. The railing's
there for a reason.
He wasn't very coherent either. He was very intoxicated. With the help of passengers on board, Kelly threw a life ring toward the injured man, pulled him to safety. As for the Tiki cruise, the show goes on, Kelly said. I scrubbed the blood off the boat, and we sang some awesome karaoke. We still had a phenomenal sunset.
I gotta be honest, I can't think of very many nights out that sound worse than a karaoke cruise. Because you can leave the karaoke bar. You are captive.
Yes.
That sounds horrible.
What was... I have to wonder, what did he pick? My Own Worst Enemy? Did he get some lit going?
I don't know. Bloodletting by Concrete Blonde?
Little My Way, Sinatra. Go for a classic there.
The railing's there for a reason. When I don't know if I pronounced this right, and if I don't, I'm sorry, but the Cliffs of Moher in Ireland, the last time I was there, we went, and there's a walking path, and you get to a certain point on the walking path where there is a big sign, and it basically says, the public portion ends here. There will be no more wall to protect you. Technically, you can keep going, but you're on your fucking own, man. If you fall hundreds of feet into the ocean, it's not on us, because this is where our responsibility for your down my ass ends.
But you just have to be like, well, this happens. We got a guy, got a drunk guy who fell. I guess we'll just keep going. I guess we just have to, come on, bro. Pick a song. What
I want to know is, like, if he was drunk enough, did he even clock that was real? Did he think he was singing with the fish? Like, how fucked up was this guy? Does he even know?
Flutternutter says, anyway, here's Wonderwall. Oh, just the fun. I mean, you just sort of have to, I guess if you live in Florida, you just sort of have to be like, yeah, this happens. What else are you going to do?
Oh man, another bleeding guy on the Tiki cruise. This happened last week.
Well, not to say other places are not immune to this stuff. Folks, literally, we joke about it, but my parents would actually say, if everybody jumped off a cliff, would you jumped off a bridge? Would you jump off a bridge too?
Classic
they literally
monologue.
said that. They actually like thought this was parenting. I don't know if it was in a book or some shit. And then my ass, being a smart ass, because I was a teenager, I would say yes, because fuck you.
Obviously.
Because, that's and they didn't really know what to do with that, because you're supposed to say no. And they're like, well, shit.
Well, you're an idiot.
What the fuck this one comes from Vancouver, and this isn't so much someone else jumping off the bridge as if someone told you to jump off a bridge, which is a classic variant. Man jumps off Vancouver Bridge, tells police someone had dared him. A man who jumped off a Vancouver Bridge.
You can get a man to do fucking anything just by being like, I bet you won't, pussy.
Man who jumped off a Vancouver Bridge during the middle of the day earlier this month told police, quote, someone had dared him to jump. May 9th at 1:58 p.m., Vancouver firefighters were training in False Creek. They're notified about a person who possibly jumped off the Cambie Street Bridge. Fireboat crew responded, found a male sitting on the rocks of one of the footings not accessible to the shore. Firefighters were able to make verbal contact with the man, gave him a life jacket and a flotation device. Canadian Coast Guard also responded. They removed the man from the rocks. Health and Emergency Service received a call at the same time. Person needed emergency service. Ambulance, primary care paramedics responded to the scene, transported one patient to the hospital in stable condition. He was not critically injured. Sergeant Steve Addison, the Vancouver Police Department, and police officers spoke to the man at the hospital. Quote, the 29-year-old man told our officers he had been using meth and someone had dared him to jump. However, we have not been able to verify if that is true. Well, someone might have dared him. They also might not exist.
Right. They might not be real.
Yes. That does not mean they didn't dare him to do it.
It might have been Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah. Like, they might not be they might not. This is a weird sort of
that would be even sadder. The only thing sadder than I did this because someone challenged my manhood is I did this because my imaginary friend challenged my manhood.
Well, I mean, you have to think about this existentially, because this is a real weird one. If the person who dared him to jump, doesn't exist, did anyone dare him to jump? Because on one hand, no, but on the other hand, there was a dare. It just came from a different place.
Is this what the t-shirts from the 80s are about? The dare t-shirts from the 80s? Is this what they really were about?
I
mean, can you dare yourself?
People are putting like Tyler Durden pictures in the chat.
Like, I think the greater existential question is, can you dare yourself?
Oh. Daryl says, my imaginary friend challenged my manhood is the best summary of Fight Club I've ever seen.
Honestly, yeah.
At what point do you have any sort of self-reflection going, man, that was messed up?
I should maybe not have done that.
Maybe not. Good Lord. Police do not believe the man was attempting to harm himself. That's the big one there. He's like, you see how that's worse, right? That's worse.
Right.
Because that means you did not expect to be harmed by jumping off a bridge.
Or you just didn't think about it at all. It's also bad.
Anyway, so yeah, that's...
Do you ever get that thing? I don't know how many big bridges you drive over. When I go to New York, I have to go over a lot of bridges because it's New York, right? And I don't mind riding over bridges, but when I'm driving on them myself, every now and then, like right when I get to the center, I get this weird, like, fear that I'm just going to become temporarily possessed and drive off the edge. What is that?
I don't know. This is why meth is bad, because meth will make you go, you know what? Let's try that. Why not?
Yeah. And I'm afraid of heights. So I'm up there the whole time like, don't go insane. This would be the worst time to go insane.
First, I guess what we've learned tonight is if you are the one daring yourself to jump, it's still not a good idea.
Men will do anything but get therapy.
You can push yourself, but don't push yourself. You know?
Yeah.
We have learned that in Florida, life finds a way. They just sort of accepted and embraced Florida man into part of the ecosystem and just sort of work around him.
Hey man, you want a party?
The karaoke must go on. So we've learned remedial that once you invoke bomb threat, it's over. Nothing good is going to happen thereafter.
Nothing good happens after the word bomb.
That's it. It's over. You're done. Time it. Call it. We have learned now that you can just end up driving on the taxi runway. No one's really going to stop you. Everything's fine. Really?
As one devoted DoorDash driver, you better have given him 5 stars.
He
really wanted you to have your Arby's.
We've learned that if you take your 11-year-old to see Final Destination and a part of the ceiling almost lands on you and kills you, she's going to need therapy for a long, long time.
Yeah, you better forget the college fund. You need the fucking therapy fund, because Jesus.
She's going to be looking out for death everywhere. And finally, we've learned you can, in fact, sleep through a container ship running aground 3 feet from your house. I sleep like that.
You can do anything if you put your mind to it.
Yeah, I sleep like that. I'm out. When I'm out, I'm out.
I do sometimes, and sometimes I sleep very light. Like 3 days this week, there's a new feral cat that I haven't trapped yet. 3 mornings this week at 7 a.m., I have woken up to him getting in a shouting match with another cat because he thinks he's big shit.
I guess instinctively, my body has decided nothing matters more than my fucking sleep.
I guess my brain is just like I have slept through my alarm several times lately. I don't know why. But the cat sounds wide awake. So it's just a matter of what my brain prioritizes. Maybe I need to change my alarm to an angry cat sound.
Also, if you put a fucking container ship in my front yard, Jeff Bezos, I'm coming for your ass.